Hi, everybody. Everybody's talking about Trump's mugshot. But you know what? Everybody doesn't know what shows in his aura from that mugshot. That's what we're going to explore in this video. I'm Rosetree, a teacher of energetic literacy, not a psychic, but the founder of energy spirituality. Let's explore 7 of his chakra databanks. And I'm going to just tell you the names of them now so you can get used to what's called stage 3 energetic literacy. In other words, stage 1, generalizing about somebody's aura. Stage 2, a chakra rating. Stage 3, which you can learn to do, by the way, I can teach you, just not right now. With stage 3 energetic literacy, you can read chakra databanks either in person or from a regular photo like Trump's mugshot. So these are the 7 chakra databanks I thought would be interesting. Number 1, root chakra databank for connection to objective reality. Number 2, solar plexus chakra databank for handling anger, and that means anger in life. Number 3, solar plexus chakra databank for handling fear in life. 4th chakra databank, heart chakra databank for handling anger emotionally. 5, heart chakra databank for handling fear emotionally. And number 6, throat chakra databank for communication to gain popularity. And number 7, third eye chakra databank for connection to spiritual source. And that is a fancy way of saying connection to the divine or God. I'm not afraid to say God. In fact, because I always co-create, and I teach my students to co-create our readings with their choice of the divine, I'm going to set that up for me now. God, hi. I call upon you to be here now with me in your form as a supercharged presence. In other words, not in a body, but very lively everywhere, God. And I awaken my power of command to co-create with you now. Good, well, ready to go. So from time to time, you'll see me making notes, and that's just keeping me doing my job, which is to do a useful, accurate chakra databank reading. Oh, by the way, if you like this video, I hope you will. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like, you could even share it with other people, right? And also feel free to comment. I will respond personally to your comments. I'm a teacher. I'm not just somebody who does aura readings as some kind of performance. It's in order to bring more truth into the world and help people, ordinary people like me, to learn how to do quality aura reading skills that are available now. So here we go. Sometimes you'll see me looking down at my notes to remember where I'm going. And yes, the first one is that connection to objective reality, root chakra databank. You'll see me close my eyes for a bit. That's when I shift gears. Then I'll open my eyes and talk. So that's the sequence. Okay, so at this point, I may as well mention Trump's aura is probably not going to be that different from the last time I researched him, which was in 2018. Below, I will give a link to that aura reading. And it's not that different from how he was when he was running for president in 2016. He does not have a normal aura. Maybe you've already figured that out for yourself. But in any case, the symbolic size of this chakra databank is called Out to the Moon. It's way over functioning. And then in terms of the quality of this chakra data bank, the quality is that within this chakra data bank, and sadly, within all of his chakra data banks, he has a real mess up kind of consciousness lifestyle that I call extreme spiritual addiction. And so his aura contains a kind of a group experience. Part of it is him, the human individual soul. Part of it, the bigger part of it, including in this chakra data bank, the bigger part of it is a ton of discarnate entities, different kinds of spirits, whether they're astral entities or they're extraterrestrial entities, because there are both kinds in there. They are running him kind of like a puppet. And at this particular chakra data bank, they're extremely, extremely excited. They're excited in a fame-seeking way. Like they know, because Trump knows, that this photo is going to be the most widely seen photograph in the world. And they're so excited to have people look at him as a human and also be noticing subconsciously the great big cheering team of astral beings. Astral beings, by the way, whether you're a psychic and you refer to them deferentially as spirits, or you're a channeler and you might think they have superior wisdom or higher vibrations because they're not human, they're creepy astral beings, in my opinion, because human beings have sovereignty over all the different life forms on Earth. And to be in an arrangement like they have with Trump and some others as well, to be in that kind of arrangement breaks a spiritual law. It is bad karma for them. And fortunately, it's not contagious, or I wouldn't be researching it and I wouldn't subject you to this aura reading. But anyway, if you're curious about what's behind that fierce expression, I look at it, and my personal take on it, just looking at this photo, is that he's mostly like a gangster, but he's also trying to seem like an exciting, almost sexy bad boy, kind of like James Dean back in the day, or a rapper who's really adored for being so naughty, and that makes him wonderful, although doesn't make him wonderful to me and doesn't have to make him wonderful to you. Meanwhile, that's my personal impression, not reading auras. I'm going to go back now to this research and research his solar plexus chakra data bank for handling anger. And remember, this is just in life. See, you and any human being, even this one called Trump, and me, each of us, we have over 1,000 chakra data banks, because each of us has 50 in every single chakra. And we have a lot of chakras, not just the main ones. Every one of those chakra data banks is about something human. And so this one is about handling anger in life, like a situation of having 91 counts against him so far in the 4 different court cases that are in progress, the 4 different indictments, 91 counts against him, and his first mugshot. Wow. Yeah. So we might think he is angry. We might deduce that. We might think his expression is angry. Now, what does the chakra data bank tell us about his subconscious and energetic experience as this man in extreme spiritual addiction, this time regarding handling anger? Back soon. it only goes out about 87 feet. That would be large, or even a bit over functioning for most people. But for him, it's pretty small compared to, say, trillions of miles, which is the symbolic size of that first chakra databank I read you. And the quality in here is that he just, as a human individual, has a blast of rage that's very human. The astral entities who are in the chakra databank are not strongly experiencing this because, and here's something, you might think it's a little technical, but you also might find it fascinating. I do. Astral beings, like those in Trump's aura, like those who are consulted by psychics or mediums or channelers, like ghosts, they do not have human emotions. Did you know that? That's one of the specialties of being human, living here at the place I call Earth School. So those entities, to them, handling anger is a big fat nothing. So it's Trump actually predominating in this particular chakra databank, and it is a blast of rage. Like if you think about a fire hydrant, say you went out on the street, there was a fire hydrant on your block, and some workers came, and with the purpose of flushing out the hydrant, they just turned it on so all the water would come pouring out. That's what's going on with him. It is such a human quality, intense blast of anger, just huge. That expression on his face, I would say, is mild compared to the force of the rage. Now, let's go on to his solar plexus chakra databank for handling fear in life. Back soon to report. This only goes out about 5 inches. And again, really to my surprise, but I didn't prepare for this public YouTube video or a reading. I wanted to keep it authentically fresh. So it only goes out that very small amount, pretty close to shutdown. And that's because, again, entities are not participating in chakra databanks that are about human emotions of any kind at all. They don't get human emotions of any kind at all. That's part of being human, just like eating pizza, human, and handling fear in life, human. So it's so fascinating to me about how Trump has a really teensy showing at this chakra databank for handling fear. So many people have looked at this mugshot and said he looks frightened. Our reading, I find, is more detailed, more nuanced, and more accurate than guessing about what an expression shows us, although expression reading is something that's fun to do, for sure, and can be informative. But this kind of handling fear, the databank shows that he is numb to even subconsciously allowing himself to notice very much when he has fear. It's not allowed, even down to his subconscious mind and his auric energies. It's like a big keep out sign. Well, just in case you didn't already think he was unusual, I think that's pretty unusual, but that's what I'm finding at the time of this mugshot. Auras do change at different times. So I always research from one particular photo or one person in the room with me. Next up, Trump's chakra databank at the heart chakra for handling anger emotionally. That means within his feelings, in contrast to the other chakra databank at his solar plexus, which is about just handling life situations where he has anger. So back soon to report. This is down to about 4 inches. He just has even more denial about doing things with his anger than he does emotionally, doing things emotionally to express his anger, etc. It's a big numb out, a big blank spot. And so you might think, well, this is weird because I've seen him screaming and I've heard him calling people atrocious names and expressing anger, threatening to kill people, etc. How can that not be handling anger emotionally? But it's my view that when he does that, it's like on automatic pilot, and it doesn't have a connection to him as a person. It's more like a detached machine handling and expressing, in this case, expressing his anger, expressing it, but he feels nothing. That's one reason he can do such cruel things with no embarrassment, although no doubt there are many reasons for that. Now, let's go on over to this other heart chakra data bank about handling fear emotionally. It's the same thing as the handling anger emotionally. Total denial, subconsciously even, to himself. But he can go ahead and seem to be expressing fear, but it's like an automatic machine detached from who he actually feels himself to be. Now, let's go on over to our next to the last chakra data bank here. This one is about communication to gain popularity. Not everybody has this chakra data bank. In my research, I have found that 95% of a person's chakra data banks are standard issue, but 5% of them are individual, situational, depending on your life at the time. This is one he may have had for a very long time, but it's probably not a chakra data bank that you have or I have. Because seeking popularity is not necessarily in the job description for being a stand-up human being, you know? Anyway, back soon. This one goes out to the moon and beyond by about 2 inches, trillions of miles. It's dominated by astral beings, astral entities, ET entities, part of that consciousness lifestyle of extreme spiritual addiction. And the quality in here is that they take it as a personal victory to reach as many people as they can and maybe interest them in also someday having an arrangement like the arrangement that Trump has that I call the consciousness lifestyle of extreme spiritual addiction. You know, it's like being a missionary for something, not a missionary for a religion, but a missionary for, wouldn't it be lovely to feel superior, maybe feel like you're naturally high, and at the same time, we entities can use you as a mouthpiece. And we don't have human bodies that were given to us by God. We don't have life contracts that were given to us by God. But when we can take over a human being, the way they've taken over Trump, then it's kind of like having a human life, and we get to look out through his eyes and act through him and be influencers. And those of you who are watching this aura reading, sometimes you may have wondered, as I have, what is going on with all those people who are in the Trump cult? And yes, I think this meets all the criteria of what a cult is. On the other hand, it's also not just a human cult anymore. It's a collaboration between Trump and the particular group of entities who are running him with this particular personal version of extreme spiritual addiction. And their desire for popularity is really showing blatantly in this chakra data bank. And then our last one, connection to spiritual source. I really want to read this chakra data bank about Trump because I know that there are many deeply religious people who believe that Trump might be the second coming of Christ. Or I still remember a video on YouTube that I saw back in the past with former, I think she was a senator, Michelle Bachmann. And you can look up this video. It's fascinating. She says at a certain point, she leads up to it, and she calls Trump America's most godly president. So let's find out what his relationship with God actually is in this particular chakra data bank, where there's a level of truth that is different from people's conjectures about their religion and how he fits into it, and what other people in that group believe about the alleged godliness of him. Going to fortify myself with a little water here. Okay, back soon. Well, this is a very simple flatlining of the chakra data bank. In other words, it's 1/8 of an inch, which is as small as a chakra data bank can get. It is not working. Now, like the saying, where there's life, there's hope. It is possible that Trump could do better in all his chakra data banks. It is possible, although in my experience, having researched this problem of extreme spiritual addiction that has come up since the shift into the Age of Awakening, with many wonderful possibilities for change, but some problems too, many of which we can solve, which is something I aim to help people when I publish books like my latest one, which is called Seeking Enlightenment. That means using your full potential. Seeking Enlightenment in the Age of Awakening. This is a new thing, this consciousness lifestyle, since the shift on December 21st, 2012. It's new, and there's so much potential for life to be much better. But for people who are making mistakes in how they use their consciousness and how they use their free will, and maybe losing their moral compass, then there can be a mess like what's showing here. And in the stumpy little shutdown chakra data bank he's got for connection to spiritual source, where it's only 1/8 of an inch, as small as a chakra data bank can get, there is complete lack of interest. Now, some of you watching this video may have a lot of interest in God or experience of God, direct experience. On the other hand, some people don't really care, and he is certainly one of them. So there you have it, a rather brief, by my standards, aura reading, although I did explain many things just to fill you in on some of this knowledge. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, if you wind up liking, and commenting and sharing. You're all invited to go on over to the Energy Spirituality website, my personal website, and check out the articles, the books, the online workshops, and mostly the very, very lively blogs and blog comments. I hope this has been useful to you, and bye for now.